Hey y'all, welcome back to Your World. I'm your host Malaya, and I invite you to this space for women to reflect, learn from the lessons that life gives us while becoming the best version of ourselves. It's your world. Go out and get what belongs to you. Hey y'all, welcome back to Your World. I hope you had a good last week. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. I really learned a lot about myself. I got more confident after posting it. I got a lot of positive feedback, so I got the reassurance that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. If you have not listened to the first episode, make sure you go do that before this one or after. Up to you. It's your world. I'm just excited to continue this journey together, and we only going up from here, okay? So first, I will share one good and bad thing from my day. I'm going to share a few good things. So one good thing was that I went to the gym and I got a good workout in. My next good thing is that I made a smoothie for breakfast and it was really good. And then my third good thing is that I was only in class for 30 minutes instead of 75, but we got out early. So, yeah, I know those are all like, girl, okay. But when you appreciate all the little good things that happen, better good things will come, if that makes sense. Like when you start to appreciate the little things, like the bigger things will just mean so much more to you. And then one bad thing from my day, I'm not gonna lie. Well, first I'm gonna say, if you can't keep it real with yourself, you can't keep it real with no one. We're just gonna put that out there. If you can't be honest with yourself and tell yourself, okay, you tripping, or you need to get it together, or that wasn't a good decision you made, you can't tell nobody else. I had a moment with myself where I really decided to be like, Malaya, you need to lock in. I'm doing good, but I could be doing better to reach my goals. And my biggest issue is consistency. And it's like I always fall into these cycles of, okay, I get a routine down pack. I'm doing the things I need to do, waking up early, being productive with my time, planning out time to record. But then once I get comfortable, I slowly start to slack off. Like, say I'm supposed to go to the gym, record a podcast episode. But then I'm like, well, these last couple of days I've been real productive, so I can take a break today. And then I do it the next day. Then I just fall into a cycle of, okay, well, I'm not going to start until I'm ready to be consistent again. But it's like, you can't be on your shit one week and then the next week you want to be unproductive, because then your progress is kind of for nothing. That's not getting me to my highest self. And this is why it's important to always be envisioning what the highest version of yourself looks like, because my highest self, the things that are hard for me right now come to her with ease. She is able to get up early, go to the gym 3, 4 times a week. She is able to be productive, use her time wisely. She is able to pour time into herself and pour time into God with ease. Like, it comes naturally to her. So it's like, I need to be actively doing these things until they become a habit or become second nature to me. So yeah, one bad thing from my day was just having to have that moment of realization that you are not where you need to be or doing what you need to do 100% to get where you're trying to be. But anyways, I digress. I will get there. I'm learning. That is why we're here, to learn and make mistakes and grow, get better together. This is all just part of my journey to better my life. And as long as I can reflect and take action to fix my mistakes, then I'm okay. Y'all know I like to get off topic, but yeah, if you are trying to tell someone else about their life and what they're doing wrong and correct them on their mistakes, make sure you're doing that for yourself too, okay? Today's topic is the value of alone time. Now, this is a topic that y'all not ready for. Like I said in the last episode, some of y'all have a misconception on what self-love is. You think, oh, you love yourself because you buy yourself all these things, but yet the idea of being alone is frightening to you, or it's uncomfortable, and society is part to blame for that, because a lot of people associate negative emotions with being alone. People like to associate alone with lonely. Those words are similar, but they are not interchangeable. Just because you are alone does not mean you're lonely, and just because you're lonely does not mean you're alone. Let me elaborate. So, by definition, being alone is the physical state of being in solitude, meaning you are the only, well, hold on, not to say you are the only individual that's taking up space, but you're the only individual taking up space in your mind. So like you could be alone at a restaurant, at a movie theater, surrounded by other people, but there's no one else to disrupt your thoughts and your energy because you are there alone, if that makes sense. And then lonely, that is a feeling of disconnect from the world around you or other people, which can happen when you are by yourself or in a room full of people. Yes, typically when we think of somebody that is lonely, they usually spend most of their time alone, but I know I definitely have felt isolated, surrounded by a whole bunch of people. Loneliness is an emotional disconnect. Just because you are lonely does not mean you are alone, and just because you are alone does not make you lonely. So let's stop using those words as synonyms because they're not. Once you learn the value of alone time and what you can learn about yourself and other people and just how to flip that perspective of loneliness and being alone, you will crave nothing but your me time. I am probably going to reference the last episode a few times, so if you haven't listened to that, make sure you do. But like I said before, you cannot get to know the person in this body constantly being bombarded with other people's distractions, with their opinions, with the noise of external factors in our life, clubs, the organizations, attempting to juggle a million things while also trying to juggle your relationship with your partner, your friends, your mom, your kids if you have any. Everything in our life is noise. Like it can be good or bad, but it's like you cannot sit with your thoughts when you're always surrounded by all the noise in your life. My goal is to help you shift your perspective on being alone and encourage you to spend some time alone to honestly start to level up. You need to do it by yourself. Growth is not a team sport, okay? It happens internally, independently. Yes, other people can like help your growth, but ultimately it's up to you. So you need to get comfortable with you. When you find peace within yourself, you don't seek it from other people. You don't feel incomplete when other people aren't around. I'm sure we all know someone who either is constantly in a relationship, never single, or constantly surrounded by groups of people, and you can just tell they don't like being by themselves. Trust me, I am not judging. I used to be one of these people too. I told y'all I'm the only child, but I wasn't always comfortable with my own company. I would either always be on the phone with somebody or having people over at my house because I just didn't feel safe alone. But when you get comfortable being with yourself, you don't find your sense of security or safety from other people. It'll come from within. And then you also don't allow anything into your life that will disturb your peace. There's just so much you can learn about yourself and the world around you when you spend some time alone. So let me get into the first point. First, I want to say you cannot pour from an empty cup. Y'all probably like, girl, what? I got this analogy from a podcaster I listen to. His name is Leo Skeppy, and his podcast is called Aware and Aggravated. And if you're looking for a podcast that is tough love, straightforward, tells you how it is, Leo is for you because he's very blunt and does not sugarcoat anything. But anyway, he says to imagine that you have two cups, and one of them represents all of your responsibilities or commitments, such as your relationship, your friendships, your job, clubs, organizations, internships, any area of your life where you have to commit and show up for. And then the other cup represents yourself. If you are constantly pouring your energy into this one cup, you're going to run out eventually. And if you have an empty cup, you cannot pour into that other one. If you are constantly giving your energy to all of these responsibilities or other people without pouring into yourself and recharging that battery, basically, you won't be able to show up as well as you would, or you won't be able to give the energy that you need to these responsibilities because you will be drained. You will be burnt out. You have nothing left to give if your cup is empty, which is why I say it's important that you treat yourself like your own friend. I feel like sometimes we don't treat ourselves like we're human beings. Like sometimes we don't validate our own emotions. We don't listen to our body when it's telling us it needs rest or it needs energy or whatever the case may be. We don't always treat ourselves how we treat other people. I know I personally am constantly checking in with my friends, asking how their day was, how's their mental health. I'm encouraging them to do the things they love while also encouraging them to listen to their body. If they need a day off, take that day off. But it's just like the things you do for other people, why is it so hard to do that for yourself? It's because humans are so socialized and we are born being taught how to fit into certain groups or be around people or have relationships with people. But there are not many people teaching us how to have a relationship with ourselves. But thankfully, y'all have the queen here to help y'all. That is kind of the whole focus of this podcast is yourself, like doing the work for you to improve your life. What I'm about to say is probably controversial, but I feel like being selfish is a good thing sometimes. Hold on, before you beat me up. We already give so much to other people. So it's like if one day I decide I don't want to go to this place with you because I'd rather be at home in my bed, or I don't feel like talking on the phone, so I just ignore every single one of your calls. That could be looked at as selfish, but it's like, look, this is my life and I need to do what I want to do and what is going to serve me at the moment. Definitely take that with a grain of salt because at the same time, I really dislike people that are extremely selfish. So it's like you got to have that balance of knowing when to put yourself first and then when you have to put other people first. Once you develop that relationship with yourself and really be comfortable pouring into yourself, catering to your needs, that's when you don't feel the need to have other people do it for you. Like there are times where people don't always reach out when you need them the most, or sometimes people are going through their own stuff within themselves and they just don't have honestly the time or energy to give you. When you feel like you need other people to validate you or make you feel a certain way, the moment they are not around or start to distance themselves, it's going to mess with your head. That's why it's important to have that relationship with yourself. So when for whatever reason people aren't around or people aren't checking in on you, you are still able to carry on with your life. You've done the check-in with yourself. You've catered to yourself. You've done all the things you need from other people for yourself. So you don't drive yourself crazy with the thoughts that, oh, they don't like me. They're not checking in on me. Why haven't they texted me? Why haven't they done this? Why haven't they done that? Girl, slow down. When we already have a lot going on mentally and we haven't really sat with our thoughts and processed them, and I don't know why, but our brain likes to automatically assume the worst or think the worst possible outcome when really that may not have been the case at all. I know when I am having a bad day and my best friend, she doesn't answer the phone all day, I'm like, damn, like I must be irritating her or she must be annoyed with me. Why doesn't she want to talk to me? But really, she was having a bad day or she was just busy all day. But just develop that relationship with yourself so it does not feel like the end of the world when those people aren't around. And for whatever reason that you are in a period of isolation, either by choice or not really hanging out with people, or you're single for the first time in a while, cherish that time you have by yourself because it does not last long. Not to say our life is centered around other people, but being realistic, our life is built on the relationships we have, the groups we're a part of. And that could be anything. If you are a college student, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a mother, if you're a young hoe, whatever demographic you are a part of, trust me, God is not going to let you be alone forever. We need companionship to survive. So you're not going to be isolated forever. People, trust me, are going to come back around. You can't avoid being around people. You got to have that balance because too much isolation that can lead to loneliness. So we can't depend 100% on ourselves for our entire life for every single thing. It just doesn't work like that. Y'all know your girl likes to ramble, okay? I'm not gonna lie, we have not even gotten to the first point yet, but that's okay. We are there now. So I broke my notes down into 3 little sections. Honestly, I use these words as the foundation for when I was thinking about the podcast, but today we're going to use them to define why you benefit spending time alone. So the first one we're going to talk about is reflection. When you are alone, you are able to analyze yourself and the people around you. It's hard to think clearly or take a deep dive into your thoughts, dissect your brain, analyze your emotions with other people interfering with that. If you don't take time to really ask yourself questions about who you are and what you stand for, you will just be blindly led. If y'all remember that puppet example I gave last episode, you will just be going through the motions as other people lead you. And sometimes this can even happen when you know your opinions, you know your values, what you stand for. But if you aren't confident in that, you are likely to be swayed by the general consensus, meaning if everyone in the room agrees on a certain topic and you feel the opposite way, but you aren't comfortable standing by yourself, you're going to just agree with what everyone else says and just suppress your own opinions. An example I learned about in a critical thinking course, and I'm pretty sure it's psychology, there was an experiment in the 1950s. I forget what it's called, but basically, the researchers were trying to observe how the test subject would respond given the social pressure of everyone else in the room. And they all come to agreement, but you're the oddball out. So there was one actual test subject, and the rest of them were the control factor. Everyone else was in on the experiment. So they were given a line on a piece of paper, and they had to choose which of the other ones matched that line. Okay, just follow me, okay? They had to pick between the lines which one matched the original, and everyone picked the obviously wrong one, but the test subject, he was like conflicted on, well, I know this one is right, but like they all say that one, so that one must be right because everyone wouldn't agree on a wrong answer. So he decided to agree with the group, not trust his gut, and obviously that was the wrong choice to make. But I say all that to say, if you aren't confident and comfortable standing alone, following the crowd can lead you in the wrong direction. When it comes to analyzing your relationships with other people, you can start to really ask yourself, is this a relationship that is benefiting my life? Is this somebody that I need to walk away from? Was that a joke or was there some shade behind it? When it comes to your romantic relationships, is this person showing up for me how I need them to? Is this person treating me how I should be treated? I am about to go off on a little rant. You should never be questioning your worth. You should never be questioning if you deserve a certain person, if you are worthy of a certain person, because guess what? It's your world. You are a queen and you deserve the world and more, okay? Take a second to think about your ideal friend or a partner. Think about the qualities they have, what they bring into your life, and then you need to ask yourself, am I in the space for this person? Am I showing up to be able to receive this person? Because you should also be acting accordingly based on your expectations of people. You cannot expect someone to show up or behave a certain way if you can't also do that. Once you start acting like the person you want in your life, you no longer have to question if you are worthy or if people are capable of loving you or treating you a certain way because you know it's possible because you can do it for other people and do it for yourself. Moving on, spending time alone allows you to do that mental check-in, be in tune with your emotions, and give yourself grace for your mistake without the opinions of other people. Let's highlight that. I'm sure most of us have been through a situation where you were either mad as hell or something hurt your feelings and someone was like, girl, wasn't that deep, or you overreacting, or I don't think it's that serious, or vice versa. It's something that you really don't care about and then they're like, oh, you tripping, I would have did this, you're not mad enough for me. And it's like, hold on. This is my life, okay? You can't tell me how I can feel or how I can react to something. This is my emotions and my feelings. So you don't get to tell me I'm tripping. When you are alone, you are allowed to feel your emotions without any judgment. You can scream as loud as you want, cuss as loud as you want, cry as hard as you want to free yourself of this emotion. When you bottle up your emotions, that's how they mess you up in the long run. Then on another side of it, when you're alone, you can really analyze, why do I feel mad? Why did that piss me off? Why did that hurt my feelings? Why did that make me happy? When you ask these questions, you are again learning more about yourself and those around you. When it comes to checking in with yourself and giving yourself grace, I don't know, I may sound crazy, but when I tell y'all you need to treat yourself like your own friend, I mean it literally. Like I'm not crazy, y'all, but I talk to myself sometimes like I'm another person. When something goes wrong, I'm telling myself, like, okay, I know that just pissed you off, but you can't let it ruin your day. When I make a mistake or a bad decision, I'm like, it's okay, girl, you're human. It's okay, we're going to get through it. But what did we learn from it? That's the most important thing. What do you learn from your mistakes? Getting back on track, I kind of talked about this a little bit in the beginning. Once you get comfortable with yourself, you don't feel incomplete when you aren't surrounded by other people. But taking it a step further, when you find peace within yourself, you don't allow anything in your space to disrupt that peace. Recently, I was listening to an interview, and this acronym for peace stood out to me, which is positive energy activates constant elevation. Let's say it one more time. Positive energy activates constant elevation. The meaning is kind of self explanatory, but once you have that mental clarity, you're pouring into yourself and feeding your energy and just radiate positivity. I am going to talk more about how your thoughts create your reality on another episode, but anywho, you won't allow any negativity or people that are trying to throw you off into your life. I know I am real quick to say I don't have the energy for this because sometimes I don't have energy for negativity. I don't. You should be real selective with your energy and what you're putting your time into, and no, not everything is worth a response or a reaction. Being alone also allows you to become more self-aware. As I said in the beginning, if you can't keep it real with yourself, you can't keep it real with anybody. Something that for some reason seems very hard for a lot of people in today's society is accountability. Y'all hate that word. You should be able to say, I'm sorry. Some people can't even apologize nowadays, but it shouldn't be hard to say, my bad, I messed up, or that was wrong of me, I shouldn't have said that, or you're right, that did come off rude. If you know me in real life, you know I sometimes be talking to people kind of crazy. Now, sometimes people deserve it, but other times I do be doing too much. After sitting with myself and realizing this is not the person I want to be seen as, nor do I want someone coming at me any type of way. So I need to acknowledge that my behavior is not okay and apologize for it to let the other person know, yes, I understand what I did was not right. I'm so stubborn, y'all. Apologizing used to be so painful for me, but now I'm apologizing for stuff I did to people years ago. Self awareness also allows you to keep yourself in check. Like, if I catch myself being negative or ranting about a situation, I'm like, now you're giving it energy. I know this made you upset, but it's time to move on. Or how I told y'all I haven't been on my Zoom for the podcast or other things I'm trying to balance. I had that awareness that, okay, I know what I'm trying to do and I know I'm not executing that. So I need to do better. Lastly, being alone allows you to become comfortable with your skin and in your body. I told y'all I'm from Chicago, but I grew up in Wisconsin. So I went to predominantly white schools damn near half my life, okay? And not to say I wasn't, well, I wasn't comfortable in my skin because being the minority in every room I walked in made me feel inferior, made me feel like my skin was something for people to stare at, and I just wasn't comfortable in my blackness, which I should have been. Also, in that environment, I was surrounded by a bunch of skinny white girls, and I wasn't big, but I wasn't small. Okay, I was a little chunky. So I just developed all these negative feelings about my body, about my skin, and I just felt so insecure. It did take a lot, but one thing that really helped me was looking in the mirror and embracing all of my features and thanking God for them. Not to be weird, but I feel like this is something you should practice doing while you're naked just to help you really connect with your body and the way it looks. But do whatever you're comfortable with, obviously. When I do this, I'm just staring at myself, looking at my nose, looking at my hips, looking at my skin, staring until I became comfortable with the fact that this is my body. I need to appreciate it and be grateful that I have a fully functioning body. I have a fully functioning mind. Thank God for every part of me. Sometimes I sit in the mirror and I literally say, thank you, God, for my fingers. Thank you, God, for my brain. Thank you, God, for my arms. Thank you, God, for moving, functioning legs. Thank you, God, for my heart. Just thank God for your body, because despite what you may think, there's someone who wish they were your size or wish they looked like you, and you are wishing you look like the next person, and they're wishing they look like the next person. It's just a cycle of comparison that you will be sucked into unless you get comfortable with your skin and with your body. If you're not, get in the gym, respectfully. If you are unhappy with your body, you should work out. Yes, I was getting comfortable within my body, but then also keeping in mind there are some things I am able to change. So I was always in sports, so I wasn't like OD out of shape, but like I said, I was a little chunky. And after I graduated, I obviously wasn't forced or in that space to be constantly moving my body. So I started working out in my room and then slowly going to the gym. And then I learned I like working out. Like, this is something I genuinely enjoy doing. It isn't just for the aesthetic or for the physical appeal. I like working out for my mental health as well. Now I'm to the point where I try to go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, which is something I never would have thought for myself. I did spend more time than I planned on talking about the reflection side, but everything I said was useful in my opinion. So the last point I was making about going to the gym kind of gets us into the next one. So let's move on to our next little subsection, which is discovery. When you are alone, you are free to try new things and learn your hobbies or interests. Whether it's crafting, singing, dancing, painting, making puzzles, crocheting. When you are alone, you can try new things without fear of judgment. I want to say about a year and a half ago, when I first started telling people I wanted to start a podcast, a lot of people, their response or their energy just gave, yeah, okay, good luck with that. And if I would have just went based on their response, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all. I wouldn't have learned this is something I genuinely enjoy doing. Like, I feel purposeful when I'm sitting in front of this microphone. When you try new things, you also are developing your identity. What makes you you? What things do you or don't you like? What gives you a creative spark? What things aren't for you, or what things you not really feeling as much? The other day I went to Pilates for the first time and I enjoyed it. That's something I could see myself doing again, which I wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have gotten out of my comfort zone and tried that activity. I got my toes done the other day, and I usually am like a white or like a really light pastel color type of girl, but I wanted to do something a little bit more bold, and I got like a lavenderish purple. It's a little bit darker than a pastel would be, but I honestly don't like it as much. But okay, now that I've tried it, I know that I don't like bolder colors and I should stick to the lighter pastel colors on my toes. But you get me. Just try new things to learn yourself and learn what you do and don't like. I feel like I've touched on this a little bit already, but when you're alone, you're able to sit in your thoughts without any disruptions or judgment from other people, and then your mind can wander wherever you want it to go. If you want to spend hours thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner, if you want to spend hours thinking about your ex, actually, don't do that. How can I improve my life? How can I improve my relationship with God? But whatever you want to devote your thoughts to, you are free to do that. Last thing I want to say for the discovery section is put yourself in different rooms to get closer to your higher self. This also applies for online too. You need to set your algorithm up to feed you the things you want to see. If you want to start your fitness journey, get into hot yoga, Pilates, you need to follow people that do that. If you want to start networking, you need to put yourself in the spaces to meet new people. I have the perfect example for this because I actually had my first meeting for this organization that I joined, which is the National Council of Negro Women, NCNW. Don't play. Shout out to my sisters. Yeah, basically, it's an organization for Black women centered around leadership, unity, empowerment, advocacy. We do a lot of community service and volunteer work and hosting events around campus. You get it. But this is the first organization I've joined since I've been in college, which is kind of sad, I know. But I was like, I need to get into new spaces. I need to meet new people. And once my roommate told me about this organization, I was like, I want to be a part of that. I need to be surrounded by other educated Black women that want to encourage and uplift each other, that want to unite and come together to make a difference in the world. Yeah, I'm excited for that, so I will keep y'all updated on how that goes. Okay, I swear, y'all, I'm almost done. Our last little mini section, which isn't going to take that long because I kind of covered mostly everything in it, which is growth. You need to actively be doing things to change your life. And like I said, growth is not a team sport. The only one with the capability of changing your life is yourself. People can assist your growth, but ultimately they cannot do it for you. Your best friend can guide you on how to change your mindset or help you get into new rooms, but ultimately you have to take that action for yourself. Even if you're surrounded by people who you're aligned with, you're both on a growth journey, you should not allow your growth to be based on their performance. No shade, bestie, I love you. But my best friend and I, at the beginning of this year, devoted a few days out the week that we were going to work out. But most days, she doesn't want to work out. But I don't let that stop me from getting up and moving my body and doing the things that I need to do. Because, yes, she is growing, but at her pace, and I'm growing at my pace. I can't let her not wanting to work out stop me from working out. Now we are finally on our last section, which I'm most excited to talk about. The importance of solo dates. I mentioned this last episode. You should be going on a solo date at least once a month. Every month, a brand new season. And if you are somebody with a lot of responsibilities, you don't get that much time for yourself. So if you plan out one day every month to spend time with yourself, cater to yourself, and everything I've talked about so far, your relationship with yourself will get so much better. And I know solo dates are intimidating when you first are getting into them because it's like you feel like everybody's watching you or you just feel awkward because you're by yourself. But one, people aren't paying as much attention to you as you think they are. And then even if you are getting looks or people are glancing at you, it's usually out of admiration. I know when I see a baddie on vacation by herself, at the movies by herself, at a restaurant, doing whatever she wants to do by herself, I'm like, period. That's a queen who is comfortable with herself, enjoys her own company, and doesn't need other people to feel happy. But like I said, I know solo dates can be intimidating, or sometimes you honestly don't have the time to plan out a whole date for yourself. Start small. You can set a timer for 5 minutes and just sit in silence, and that alone will do you benefit. The world we live in is so noisy, like other people, the environment, social media. We are just surrounded by chaos, which could be good or bad, but it's a noisy world we live in, okay? And I learned this about myself as I got older. I get overstimulated very fast. Like, I cannot be in a noisy environment for too long. So, me setting a timer for 5 to 10 minutes allows me to just disconnect and shut out all of that noise, or it allows me to prepare for it because I don't know if I told y'all, but I work with kids. I'm an after school teacher right now, so I deal with 24-year-olds every day. And I'm not exaggerating. I did have about 20 kids, and they all have their own individual needs. They all want me to play with them. Some of them want to beat each other up. That gets very over. I come into work overstimulated, okay? But if I just take a moment to just sit in silence without going on my phone, if someone texts me, I'm not checking it until my timer goes off because this is me time before I put myself in those noisy environments. And it helps me not get as overstimulated when I prepare for it and just have a moment to just, okay, you know? Another reason I promote solo dates so heavily is because people are going to treat you how you treat yourself. If someone has ever come into your house or your car and they didn't clean up after themselves or they just left a mess, they probably thought to themselves, oh, she must be okay with it because I see she allows this in her space. You set them up to be comfortable behaving a certain way if they see you doing it. And vice versa. If people see you keep your space clean, you don't leave trash everywhere, you wash out your dishes when you're done with it, they're going to model that behavior and follow that standard that you set for your space. When it comes to men, they 100% are going to treat you how you treat yourself. If a man sees that you accept the bare minimum, you don't really treat yourself or keep yourself, like, keep your maintenance done, don't really stand on anything, you kind of like take whatever is dished out to you, they are going to give you that. If a man doesn't have to try hard, he won't. I'm not going to say that because there's some men are naturally lover boys, naturally a good man. You don't have to tell him how he needs to show up. He kind of just knows how to come correct. Child, I haven't found one of them, but if you do, let me know, sister. Y'all, I am one of the biggest man haters. Like, yeah, I'm trying to grow out of it, but like, there ain't too many passes a man can get around me. Yeah, no. I'm always saying, as a man, you're doing that because y'all used to go to war. Men used to want to go out of their way to take their lady on dates. And now, all we got is sharks. Like, they don't even try to hide the fact that they just trying to get in your pants. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it because it's like, nowadays you have to off-rip put it on the floor that, hey, I'm not as interested in having sex with you. Like, I want to get to know you. What's your middle name? Like, let's go out and do something besides have sex with each other. And granted, yes, there are some women who are not interested in getting to know people and they just want to get their rocks off. I definitely might make an episode about this, but y'all need to stop giving it out. Stop letting these no good men get coochie out the queen. You should be selective on the people you allow literally inside your body. But I'm going to move on because I will go on a further rant. I told you I'm a man hater and I'm already too off topic. But bringing it back, if a man approaches you and he sees you are always put together, you're confident, you stand tall, you stand on what you say, you are selective with your time and energy, he is going to come correct or don't come at all. If you like flowers, buy yourself some flowers. If you like words of affirmation, write yourself little love letters or little words of encouragement and hang around your house. Just like we're not waiting around for people to do the things we love, we also are not waiting on men to receive the things we love. If you want some damn flowers, go buy yourself some flowers. And then that also sets a standard. Like if he sees, oh, she always is buying herself flowers, like that must be something she likes, he will buy you flowers. If you are planning a birthday trip and you invite all of your friends and they see that you don't play about your time and your energy, birthdays are something that's important to you, to the best of their ability, they will show up how you want them to. They won't come to your birthday trip looking crazy, looking any type of way. They're going to take the time to find outfits and yeah, you get it. The sooner you set your boundaries and your standards, not even just with men, with people in general, they will get in where they fit in or get out. Like you need to stand on your boundaries. Don't negotiate your boundaries for someone else. If they don't want to show up how you need them to, they are not meant to be in your life. Simple. Once you get comfortable with yourself, you will realize you don't need people to go out and do the things that you want to do. Sometimes people are flaky or they have lives and they're busy, but that shouldn't stop you from going to see that movie. That shouldn't stop you from going to the museum, going to the aquarium. If that's something that you want to do this day, do it. Because like I said, people aren't always going to be around or be available when you need them to. That shouldn't stop you from doing whatever it is that you want to do. A couple years ago, I went to my first concert by myself because some of my friends couldn't come or some of my friends were flaky and some people just didn't want to go. Sometimes people just don't like the things that you like, and instead of being like, oh, now I can't go to the concert because I have no one to go with, no. I was like, okay, I'm going to go by myself. And I had a ball, okay? I met this girl who was also by herself and we just had a good time and we were like, yes, girl, hit me up whenever you're going to another concert. Like, that was like my homegirl. But that's what I mean. Like, if I decided not to go to that concert, I would have never met her and I would have never got to see Sexy Red, Big Sexy. But yeah, I say all that to say, don't allow other people to dictate whether you're going to pursue an activity or whether you're going to enjoy yourself or not. Because going back to the last episode, you are not a puppet. You shouldn't just not do something because someone said it was a bad idea or someone else doesn't want to. If you want to go listen to an opera performance, if you want to go to the history museum, if you want to go try octopus, like whatever it is you want to do, do it. And this allows you to develop a sense of independence and security within yourself. When you start to do the things you want without caring what other people think, without needing someone else to be happy, you will start glowing like internally and on the outside. And I hope y'all know I'm not saying go rob a bank because that's something you want to do. Just be realistic. You get what I'm saying. I know that was a lot, but hopefully you understood and learned something from all the information I gave you. But that is all I have for today. The main points I want you to leave with are being alone does not mean you're lonely. Make sure you do whatever you need to refill your cup before you try to pour into anything else. Analyze yourself. Am I doing the things I need to get where I'm trying to go? Analyze the people around you. Is this someone that is serving my life? Find peace within yourself so you don't feel the need to be surrounded by other people. And once you develop that peace, don't let anyone or anything disrupt it. Allow yourself to sink into your thoughts and into your desires. Go out and try new things to learn your interests, develop a new hobby, attain a new skill. Put yourself in different rooms to get closer to your highest self. Growth is not a team sport. It happens individually and internally. Take yourself on solo dates. Treat yourself how you expect other people to. Finally, if you want to do something, stop waiting for other people. Do it by yourself. To me, this is everything I've talked about is the real measure of self-love. Just because you can spend a bag on yourself or you look put together just means you value your image. But what about your identity? What's going on the inside? Okay, so as I told y'all, we are going to do some affirmations together at the end of each episode because we need to affirm and declare over our life. And I told y'all I just glide my finger, like I close my eyes and glide my finger across my affirmation poster and whatever it lands on. I kind of just let fate decide. And y'all, the two affirmations that I chose, like with my eyes closed, align with the episode perfectly. So I love that. But anyway, let's do those affirmations, girl. I am the main character in my life. I am in love with myself and who I'm becoming. Did you say those affirmations? You better. But that is all I have for today. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Hopefully, I encouraged one or all of you to go on a solo date, love on yourself, and yes, there is so much value in alone time, and I hope you learned that. Thank you for listening to Your World. Make sure you follow on all platforms at Your World Podcast to stay connected. And always remember, it's your world. Go out and get what belongs to you. I love you all, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.